There wasn't a vlog for the last week because, in all honesty, between Ted being ill and having to face a treatment potentially being stopped, which has really improved my symptoms over the last couple of years, I couldn't really think clearly and it was really kind of getting me down. But as we now find out in the next clip, I essentially wasted an entire week being down about it. I am genuinely, absolutely freaking buzzing right now. So today is Tuesday, and tomorrow I was going to have to go to hospital and essentially kind of fight and argue would seem too strong of a word, but I was going to have to put a very strong case across to continue a line of treatment that my consultant was hoping to stop. Now, it's not his fault, like it's truly not his fault. My bones are crumbling because of the treatment. It's not the best thing to carry it on. However, the difference it has made to my life and how much I'm able to do is phenomenal. Like, it's nothing short of incredible. And yeah, I've been feeling really down, to be honest, knowing that I have to battle that. And I just got a phone call to say we can carry it on for 1 more month. I don't know if it's going to carry on after that, but I was given 1 month grace period last month as well. And I've been given another month grace period. We're going to try and manage the osteoporosis. Because genuinely it has made such a phenomenal difference to my life. Like, I am so much stronger, so much healthier, I can eat more. Thank you, Sinner. Yeah, so absolutely overwhelmed with joy at the news that I will be getting another line of treatment tomorrow. And yeah, hopefully it continues and hopefully we can get the bone thinning under control. But oh my goodness, what a turnaround for the books. Yes. 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 A bit then. Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. Yes, good boy. This might be quite interesting to demonstrate. So I've just crossed the road using this dropped curb and I've come over here, yeah? And I now need to go down here, okay? However, so while there is one dropped curb there, I can't cross the road here because there's no dropped curb. And so I need to come down here, right? Except there isn't any dropped curb down here either. So here is where I've just come off. However, I can't get on there because my wheelchair can't get up there. So that's okay. So what we've done is we've crossed the road. But as you can see, there's no drop curb here. So my only option is to drive down the centre of the road. That's it. So safe. So I've just come and taken Ted out for a walk to the local park. We don't usually go there, but I thought a nice little change of scenery for him would be really nice. Just give him something different to look at, do you know what I mean? Rather than being cooped up indoors, stretch his legs a little bit. But he's ended up just chilling on my knee, which, I don't know, it's lovely, but it's also a little bit concerning because I'm like, you're a 7-year-old dog. You should be tearing around, not having any issues whatsoever. So yeah, not a resounding success, but I think he enjoyed himself anyway, so that's something. So the clips that I think you've just seen are me in hospital with Ted. I worked him for the first time in months and oh my God, it was so nice to just have him by my side. Like, obviously Ted helps physically for me, like he helps me with my physical disabilities. However, I do struggle with anxiety when I'm out and about. It's a lot better now. It's improved so much over the years. But to have a dog to focus on and to have a dog to kind of interact with is so helpful. But the next clips are really interesting because this is me training Cinna in a hospital environment. So we don't go inside. He is way too young for that. He's currently 7 months old. And it's so interesting because part of me is anxious about filming anything and showing anybody these videos, because objectively speaking, he is, there are issues with the way that he behaves. Like, he's too sniffy, he's not super engaged with me. However, having said that, for a 7-month-old puppy, he is very, very good. And I think there's two things that I have to remember, like, let alone anybody else, is the fact that he's a puppy. He's not going to be perfect right now. And that's the whole point of training him, you know. I'm training him. They don't just come ready trained. I have to put work in. But I suppose the thing is, with Ted, I don't have anything like that to look back on. I only have the finished, polished videos. And so I think to have those videos of Cinna where I can sort of look back on and be like, oh, wow, he really has come such a long way will be nice. He is 7 months old.
Oh, a little cocky, aren't you?
Yeah, good boy.
Hey. Oh, you don't want those.
Good lad. Clever boy. So I find this video quite interesting to watch too, because you see that I put him in a sit stay, I moved away and a person walks past him. Now looking at the puppy who couldn't deal with people coming near him, that's incredible, the fact that he managed to stay there without relying on me. And you see now he does a beautiful swing to the side to move himself into heel position. That's starting to be an automatic reaction for him. But he's not perfect here. You see that he doesn't keep his hind end out when the wheelchair is swinging, so we need to work on that. And there was a couple of stress signals. He yawned just before that happened. So they're definitely, while he is incredible for his age, we do have a lot to work on, and that's okay. You know, I would expect that at this age. I certainly wouldn't be expecting polished behaviour. Again, you see me moving away and you see his look back there at the person sat on the bench next to him. He's a little bit unsure, he's a little bit uncomfortable, he's a little bit hypervigilant here, and that was why I returned to him more quickly. I always want to set him up for success. Maybe I moved too far away here, maybe he'd just been working for a little bit too long at this point. And here you see that the guy actually said something, and you notice that Cinna isn't as confident after that, which is because he's not used to me talking to people. So again, something that we can work on. See, and it's like, I think this clip is really interesting to watch, because you notice that at the start, he's a little bit distracted. He goes to sniff that bush there, which isn't ideal, but really in the grand scheme of things, for a 7-month-old puppy to be working off lead in such a distracting environment. Behind me, behind the camera, there are 3 different hospitals. There's obviously a lot going on in front of us. I'm really pleased with this progress for him. You'll also notice that pretty much every time, apart from once, I leave him in a wait, I return to him, and that's because with a dog like Cinna, there is so much desire and drive to come towards me that if I was to do 50% of the time recalling him to me and 50% of the time returning to him, you would notice that he would start to anticipate my recall cue more and more and more, and that's not what I want him to do. I want him to remain there until I tell him otherwise. And so that's why you always see me come back to him. But this is a great example of an area where Ted has a weakness in. Ted's never been able to be left in a stand stay. That's something that Cinna's able to manage here, and then I recall him to me. Just because I'm mindful that a stand stay is more difficult, it leaves the dog feeling a little bit more vulnerable. And so, yeah, it was really nice to see how he dealt with this environment, and generally speaking, this is a massive improvement on the previous month that he was in this situation.
So we're actually later on Wednesday now, and the day was going like really well. I felt really good after training both dogs in the hospital actually, and then we went to Subway and I went in to pick up dinner for everybody, and long story short, I ended up passing out. And it's made me feel really weird. So I've been very lucky that for the past 2 years basically since I started my treatment that we managed to get the passing out to stop. It made everything so much better, and I started to relax. Like, I started to relax in public. I stopped panicking that I was going to pass out. And to be honest, I could kind of forget for the most part that I was sick. You know, like, obviously I have a tube on my face. Obviously I have to do medication. Obviously I have to do things. But because there wasn't these major medical events constantly happening, it meant that I could kind of kid myself and pretend that I wasn't. And I don't know, like, I don't want to be negative. I don't want to take one event and suddenly change my entire perspective, but I'd be lying if I said that it hasn't completely thrown me. And it was just so embarrassing. Like, there was such a big queue and I fainted, but because I was in my manual wheelchair, I just basically fell backwards, and so it was this whole charade. And because everybody's socially distancing, nobody could come near me, and so I had to, like, pick myself back up, and it was just, like, I'm sure it's just because there was a gap in treatment and everything like that, but it's a stark reminder of how far I've come and where I don't want to go back to, I guess. But I feel bad filming this because I don't like being negative, but I also feel like it's not completely genuine of me if I only ever show you my good bits. So, yeah. I will say, the sandwich was absolutely worth it. It was the best Subway I've had in a long time. Am I suffering for it now? Yes, I am. Was it worth it? Absolutely. You know, some things are just worth the suffering.
So you can see Ted is getting a lovely deep massage here from Ellie, our veterinary physiotherapist. She is absolutely incredible. I rate her so much. And you can see here, Ted's not completely happy. This isn't happy wiggly Ted, this is more reserved Ted. So he's clearly guarding himself a little bit. There's definitely some pain going on somewhere. It's just a case of figuring out exactly what's causing it and what is primary and what is secondary. And then here you can just see that Ellie is giving him cold laser therapy, which is going to help his muscles recover more quickly, really. On Ellie's examination, she found that both his upper and lower trap muscles, so his trapezius muscles, were incredibly tight, and there was also a little bit of wastage there, more than you would expect for a dog of his age. And due to compensation for those tight muscles, he's also quite tight down the side muscles there, which I've highlighted. I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce. I will say, obviously, I am not a professional, and I'm only relaying what I've been told by the professional. We have just got back from Cinna's second time at the place where I usually take Ted to agility, and I wish I'd have filmed earlier on when I came out, because I got in the car and I was telling my mum how it went, and I actually kind of welled up and got emotional because there was such an improvement in him behaviourally since last week. So obedience wise and sort of what I ask him to do, he's brilliant, he's absolutely fantastic, but he really struggled last week, and you know, he was barking, he was growling. I handled him well, so I managed to get him at a distance where he was comfortable. But this week we didn't have any barking, any growling, and there was a lot going on there this week. There was a lot of dogs barking, and he managed it incredibly well. The reason I got emotional was because watching him today reminded me a little bit of Ted, in that I saw snippets of that dog who loves to work for me, who will do anything no matter what's going on, and truly that is the greatest thing I can possibly ask for. And yeah, I don't know, do you know what, actually I'm feeling really good, like between my treatment restarting, between going back to agility and socializing with people and seeing people and nicer weather. It's just, I actually feel the happiest I've felt in months. So yeah, apart from that blip the other day where I passed out, I'm doing really well, and I'm genuinely chuffed, and it's so nice to be able to say that. But a quiet bank holiday weekend, actually, nothing much going on, but a lovely week so far. So it's currently Saturday. I feel so crap. I do. I feel so crap. for the past couple of days. My stomach really hasn't been right, and it's meant that the tube keeps kind of like coming out and then going back in too tight, and so I'm struggling to tape it up, which is why it looks the way that it is right now. But the horrible thing is, when that happens, when it pushes itself out, you end up with basically acid in your nose, burning your nose, which is crap, to put it lightly. And for Sunday, I just took Ted to the field and I let him have a bit of a sniff. He was able to mooch around, get some treats, and just generally enjoy being out with me on our own. And that's pretty much it for the extent of this week. It's been really lovely and I hope you've enjoyed it. And hopefully I'll catch you next time.